Hello, today is December 20th, 2019. Trading is closed. Let's go over our calls. We said in order for the rally to continue, we have to gap over these highs, and we did. Looked for the pattern with the early low, and that's it. Monday's pattern has an early high. We now got 5 days in a row of gapping up. That's really pushing it. No law says there can't be 6, but anything over 3 is really extreme. I think once I saw 7, if memory serves me right. But the reason that's important is we gapped up, new all-time high, retested it, and then closed under all these highs. It's a negative pattern. Should lead to lower prices Monday unless we gap and promptly take out these highs, and ideally gap over these highs. You're working against yourself when you've got 5 days gapping up in a row. Doesn't make it impossible, but that's not where the odds lie. Here's what we said. Stopped at the trend line and put together a rally which doesn't retrace. We should gap over it. I never saw this 31.94.40 undercut, but I can't say it's required, but it happens a high percentage of the time. Of course, the market's closed on Christmas. Merry Christmas. Not on Hanukkah, obviously. Chag Sameach means happy holidays. Well, we had a drop here. MEJT said it was false and prices would recover, which they did. I've kind of lost my faith in Demark's stuff, but I'm still going to report what it says. This is bar 9 of a 9, 13, 9 combo sell signal. It takes months for these patterns to play out. And when they work, which they haven't lately, when they work, it's a very bearish pattern, should lead to a sizable drop. And if it's really going to work, you really want to expect it to drop pretty quickly and pretty fast. The TDST line still works. There's support at and 1 bar under the line. Ideally, if this is going to work, you want to undercut number 8 in this line within 3 trading days. It seems pretty far off to me. You're talking about a 100-handle drop, and I'm not saying it happens, but that's the signal. And just be aware of what the signal is if we start dropping. And if it works this time, you're looking at a sizable drop. Here's my wave count. Now what I did was to set your Fibonacci grid on brown 1 and put it on the end of brown 2. You'll see we got the hit on 3, and you'll see we get a hit right at today's close. So at least there's a fib relationship between 1 and 3, if that's what this is. It isn't hard to count 5 waves up, and even this last 5th wave is a clear 5 waves up. So the caution alerts out. Now we did gap over this line, but you need to validate the break by going over today's close by 1 tick. So if we gap down, this break over the line does not count. And in fact, if you gap under today's low, under the line, that marks it as a false move. Not saying that'll happen, but if it happens, there's the signal. Now this blue line is again fan line from the top of wave 3. Oh, one more thing I want to say before I show you the next chart. This light blue line I got by connecting these highs to that low. When you connect this low to this low, you get today's high. It's a perfect fit. So we have trendline resistance. You moved up to it. The standard rule is you gap over this line or else the line wins. We also have been saying we had a straight line break through this trend line. The target's to return to the line. There we are. So we hit the target from this break. We're now hitting the target from this break. We have a Fibonacci pattern compatible with a high, and we have a Demark sell signal. But these aren't the only trend lines in the pattern. Well, here's the long-term count. Here's your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, I know everyone else has purple 3 here. I don't want to rehash why I don't like that count, but just to briefly go over it. People who are counting it that way count this wave as a 5. If you look at the daily chart, it's a clear 3-wave structure. And if you don't believe me, they also count this wave as a 5. And if you have to fudge the count for what's an obvious 3 to make it a 5, if you have to fudge the count, you should assume the count's wrong. In addition, the tops of wave 1 and 3, the ends of wave 1 and 3 should be parallel to the ends of wave 2 and 4. And with my count, they are. You can check it for yourself. And if that's 3, it doesn't work at all. So that's my reason. So why is it important? Everyone agrees that's the end of wave 4. What's the difference if this is wave 3 or not? Well, you connect the high of wave 3 to the high of wave 4, and you pretty much get today's high. But life really gets interesting if you extend this line. Here's a parallel line. And when you overlap it, you see the line goes all the way to the bear market low right at the end of the 10-plus year bull market. That goes all the way down to 666.79. So we have the beginning of 1, the end of 3, the high of 4, and today's high, all on the same trend line. That's pretty heady stuff. We've rallied up to it in what looks like almost a parabolic move. If we're not stopped here, we're going to have to gap over today's high. And if we don't gap over today's high, the trend line wins. Here's what I have. Monday's pattern has the early high. Usually it's a rally day with a high in the final hour. Failure is a straight line drop. It's negative. We gapped up, closed under all the highs. Bulls need to invalidate the pattern by promptly overtaking the high of day. It isn't too far, and if it's the market's intention to continue higher, it shouldn't be too hard to do. We have a large number of patterns pointing to today's highs at top of significance. Despite the good breath, normally bullish daily pattern Monday, and the positive Christmas seasonality. In addition, markets hardly ever top out in December, although it has happened. If this is a top, I want the market to drop right from and preferably before the open. If that didn't happen, I would question the call. It doesn't mean it's wrong, but if it's going to work, it should work fast. No ifs, ands, or buts. Calling market tops when the strength is this intense, even though you're overbought, is a dangerous thing to do. Because even if all the criteria are met, as they have been a number of times on the rally, it can just keep going higher. So we'll say it's but potential, and I'm not going to predict what will happen at Monday's open. But if we start straight down, particularly if we gap under this low, which may or may not happen, I don't know, it could be a long way down. We could drop 100 handles within 3 days, maybe 3.5 because of the stub day Tuesday. So if you're a bull, you better hope we gap over this high, and if we gap under the low, the bears are going to probably win this one. And that's today's call.